United States Air Force. And I'm normally not a crybaby, but we just witnessed the worst of humanity. A homeless woman who just needs help. We have everything we need to serve people, and we're not brave enough to do it. So it moves me when people need the basics, food, clothing, shelter, and we say no.
Yeah, that's a problem. Talk to us about your vision for Kentucky as our next U.S. Senator, because a lot of people are dissatisfied with the status quo. What are you going to bring differently to the table?
I always say, Kentucky first, country always. I served 27 years in the United States Air Force. I worked in 11 countries representing the promise of America. And when I retired and came back to Kentucky, I promised I would do for Kentucky what I did for America. I promised that Kentucky would go from the bottom of the list to the top of some lists, and that every family would thrive, and that we would have what we need to live this one life that we have. And that's the work I've been doing my whole adult life, serving other people.
You know, we're leading the country in everything that you don't want to lead the country in. We're leading the country in morbidity. We're leading the country in obesity. We're leading the country in lung cancer deaths. We're leading the country in animal abuse. I mean, we're literally at the bottom of the pile when you start stacking people up. You start stacking up all the categories of what's good. And it seems, from my perspective, from the work that I do, that the things that I care about are the things that are least paid attention to by our city, our state, and our nation. So with your experience as a leader, with your experience as a pastor, with your experience as a, God knows, hero who literally has given a great part of your life to our U.S. military, what changes need to be made in this U.S. Senate seat to allow Kentucky to regain the status that we once held? Talk to us about that.
Well, I've won 4 elections, including the last one to be leader in the Kentucky House of Representatives. And I've traveled all over the state listening. People know what they need to make their lives work. They don't need government telling them what they need. They need government to listen and implement those things which allow us to have honor our responsibilities towards one another. That's the role of government. The role of government is not to tell you how to live your life. It's to create an environment where every family can thrive. Now, I've been in the Middle East. I've been in several African countries, Germany, England, Italy, you name it, I've been there. My bosses used to say, drop Pam in the country and give her some time and she can run it. Because I listened to people, whether I understood the language or the culture or not, because my job was to pursue the promise of America. That's still my job. The promise of America for every Kentuckian. If you look at it, across this nation every day, high school kids, elementary kids say a pledge allegiance to the flag with liberty and justice for all. All of our founding documents talk about we the people, that we are who we say we are when we provide for the common good. Now, as far as I can tell, there's certain things that are human needs, not wants. Healthcare, realized it. And that some people have to file bankruptcy to get it. And that some people don't get treatment is an abomination. That we don't have clean drinking water in all parts of Kentucky. That we don't have food, shelter for all people. Those are needs. This body needs food and cake so that it can survive and become the best it can be. That's why I'm running, because the U.S. Senate has the power to do so much.
It absolutely does. And our Senate seat from Kentucky, literally, we have another candidate who is a black man. man and we have a white woman, and there's a ton of people in this race. What can you tell us to make you stand out from the literal pack that is running for this seat, that differentiates you, Colonel Pam, from all of the rest?
The U.S. Senate and the senators that serve have 9 major functions. I have engaged with most of the 9. They are responsible for treaties. When I was in Italy, England, the Middle East, I was responsible for interpreting those treaties and making sure they were effective in the country that we were in for our military members. I have served at the federal level. Number 2, I've won for investigations and impeachment processes. That's what I've done for my legal career, conducted investigations, over 40 years of legal experience, 27 at the federal level, at the forefront. If you look at all the things that are most important, one of the most important things is the Senate's ability to declare war. Because I've been in a hostile conflict, I know what it is to put Kentucky's sons and daughters in front of a firing squad, put them in harm's way. They've got to trust that their leadership understands what they're going through, that their leadership has their back, that their leadership has served. And 100%. Only through the service can you really weigh what is possible for those that are implementing your orders.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the top topics that have come up in other interviews, we're just going to hit them from the beginning. ICE. ICE, ICE, ICE. It's the constant topic of conversation, and I was watching a live streamer, Mercado Media, who was here in 2020 from Minneapolis yesterday, when ICE agents, masked ICE agents, were pulling guns on observers outside a church, the Church of the Assumption in Minneapolis, and stalking churchgoers because it's a heavily Hispanic community. Talk to us about your views of the role of this, quote, agency, and what you would do as a senator.
Our immigration system is broken. Neither party has done anything to fix it. This ICE situation is an abomination. It has nothing to do with the rights and freedoms that we enjoy in this country. If any other group will put on a mask and snatch people off the street and send them to foreign countries, we'd be screaming to the high heavens. That's not who we say we are. There is no role in this country for people to be snatched off the street without due process of law, outside of the laws of this country, without any representation, because someone decided that they didn't like the way they looked. So I get to harass you, I get to harm you, I get to separate you from your children, I get to be judge, jury, and executioner. That's not the country any of us believe in.
Yep, lack of due process is a huge issue right now that a lot of people are discussing. We have situations going on where due process is not being met, especially in the incarcerated population. People who are serving time that are innocent, that are being exonerated years later thanks to enhanced DNA capabilities. Talk to us about the incarcerated population, which is a huge number of people of color.
We say liberty and justice for all, and we haven't reached that. We, in the legislature, as the leader in the legislature, I filed a bill 3 years ago. One of the things that we were doing in Kentucky was once people served their sentence, there was no pathway to becoming employed. So we filed a bill that said, I co-sponsored a bill that says we need to give them identification cards. No one can do anything in this city, in this state, without an identification card. That is now happening. We've got to be brave enough to make sure that when someone has served their sentence and everything is complete, that they are restored, and we don't do a good job of it.
Absolutely. So restorative justice really figures into a lot of the things that people are complaining about right now. When you go to Washington, Colonel Pam goes to Washington. There are groups, caucuses, of freshman legislators. There are black caucuses. There are Democrat caucuses, Republican caucuses, women's caucuses, all of these different groups of people that literally band together, usually people who are in a minority situation, to give each other support. Who are some of the senators that right now, representing other states in the nation, or at least one that you would like to embody the spirit of, that you would like to align yourself with to accomplish the similar goals that you have?
There are so many. If you look, when I look at my history, I'm a veteran, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, I'm an ordained minister, I'm a nonprofit founder, I am a leader in the legislative body, and more importantly, or just as importantly, I am an award-winning quilter.
A quilter?
Yes.
What talent you have.
So, I don't know, I could be the first senator that will start a artist caucus. Because art is the way to people's hearts. You know how songs make you think of some time in your life. You know how
Absolutely.
The actual being able to create does something to the spirit.
Absolutely.
Art in schools is very, very important. But I can think of many other caucuses that I would become a part of, because we've got to bind together and march in the same direction.
100%.
Especially the Veterans Caucus, the Black Caucus, the Women's Caucus. Everybody has special, different needs that I've experienced. And if I'm lucky enough, I might start a Black Women's Caucus with just the three of us. It will make for short meetings.
And you can quilt.
And we can quilt.
While you do it. I love it. I can't wait to see you sitting there on the floor of the Senate quilting as someone is carrying out a filibuster. That's a hilarious image to me. So, Colonel Pam, I think one of the things that a lot of people really focus on is this candidate going to represent me? What if I don't look like you? What if I don't believe the same things that you necessarily believe? What if I have a different, frame of reference for things? Talk to us about how you actually can represent such a diverse and divided state as Kentucky and satisfy everybody. It's impossible, I know, but try to think of a way.
I think my experience has been from talking to people. Excuse me.
Take a drink of that black coffee. I love
Since
this
we're
place.
at Black Coffee.
I love this place. They've got 2 locations, by the way. We're at the 28th and Broadway Opportunity Center, and Black Coffee at 12th and Jefferson is where I stop in frequently when I'm out chasing a dog, because it's really close to downtown. Okay, go ahead.
Well, what I have found, no matter what country I was in, no matter what culture I was in, whether I spoke the language or not, people want the same things. Mm-hmm. They want their children to do better. Mm-hmm. They want their families to thrive. And they want this one life that they have to matter. And when we listen, they tell you what those things are. So what we have to do is listen and be authentically straight. Yes, I can do it. No, I can't. And the second part is, what are you going to do about it? I need your support. Yes, the government is going to create an environment for you to thrive, but I need your support. You're part of the people, for the people, by the people. Democracy works when we engage. And when we don't engage, we get what we got.
Women's health, big issue. A lot of people are talking about a woman's literal sanctity over the decisions made for their bodies. And tons and tons and tons of conversation occurs every day about the fact that if men were affected by what has just happened with Roe versus Wade, everything would be available to them. Talk to us about women's health and how you will advocate for them.
In case you haven't noticed, I am a proud woman. I love being a woman, and I also love the privacy of my doctor's office. I also love the fact that I get to make my own choices and my own decisions. I also love the fact that I have to be responsible for the choices and decisions that I make. There is no room.
Same thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And one of the things I believe is we're focusing on the wrong things so that people can be divided, so that people can take their eye off the real ball. And the real ball is the economy, stupid.
It truly is.
The real ball is the workers that built this great nation. The real ball is the people that make millionaires, billionaires are the workers.
And trillionaires, by the way.
Trillionaires.
We're about to have one.
Yeah. Those, you could pay the workers a wage where they could take care of their families and still be a trillionaire. Those are the things we need to focus on and not the things that divide us. Now look, I've been married 43 years. I would like to believe to the same person. Okay, maybe not so much. Why do we get in a public space and think that we must agree on everything before we move forward?
Exactly.
We've got to keep the main things the main things. We've got to focus on every child being fed. What do we do to make sure that every child is fed? What do we do to make sure that people are not sleeping with snow as a blanket? What do we do to make sure that the elderly are taken care of? That after they work their whole life, invested in Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, that they don't get old poor and become poor at the same time? What do we do that we want to force on other people?
The price of groceries, the price of gasoline, the rent, the price of insurance, that's car insurance, health insurance, the issues of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and its availability. It's all terrifying to a large group of people right now who are, and I'm one of them, people who are literally senior citizens, people who have passed that age limit, and they are relying on being able to draw on the years and decades of work that they've done. And the thought of losing those things is absolutely horrifying.
I call those human needs.
Yes.
Those are not wants. Those are not benefits. If you work your whole life and then you retire, what you put in, you ought to get out. Number two, you can't live in this body without health care. That we monetized it so that America is one of the top countries in people who file for bankruptcy because of medical debt. We have no right to deny the human body what it needs to heal. Secondly, that people have lost their homes. They've lost the ability to earn a living. Our homeless population has grown. Please don't tell me they're all have mental issues. Please don't tell me they want to be there. I've heard that from people. I promise you, when it's 18 below zero, a mother doesn't want to be on the streets with her children, hoping that she can keep them warm with her body.
There you go. There you go. Colonel Pam, talk to us about some of the other things that are extremely important for you to get across, that you want people to hear about what you're doing in your Senate campaign, and you declared quite a while ago. I think it was the beginning of the year. So
31st January.
Yeah, 11 months ago. You were one of the first people to throw your hat in the ring, so to speak. Another gulp of black coffee.
Look, I believe that we got one life to live, and life is going to throw you problems and circumstances and everything. So the trick is to live a masterful life, is to find the joy no matter what the circumstances. And that black coffee was a piece of joy.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to start working on as your U.S. Senator. And I say your because there are only Every state gets 2, and we all work for the whole United States of America so that we can get to America 2.0, so that we can make sure that America lives up to its creed, so that we can make sure that all people who are endowed with inalienable rights achieve those rights.
Yep.
1, strong economy. We need to have good paying jobs. Number 2, we need to make sure that the infrastructure to get to those good paying jobs is in place. Number 3, we have to make sure that we have a good public education system so our children can compete on the global stage, in the global economy. The other part of it is, the second prong of it is this. We have to make sure that human wants are distinguished from human needs. I'm talking about human needs. Humans need health care. You can't show me one person that's ever lived that didn't need health care. This body needs to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
Number 2, people need food, clean drinking water, shelter, and they need to be able to do those things so they can go out and work.
And housing, above all.
And housing. You're right. And then finally, we got to protect those who protect us. We have to protect the veteran. That we have homeless veterans in the same sentence, that's a problem. That anybody is homeless. But that a veteran that says, I will die? When I served, we had to make some death notifications. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. And these were young people. We have to protect those who protect us. That includes the first responders, firemen, policemen. We have to protect our freedoms and rights. If you don't engage, if you don't protect them, look around you and see what's happening. They are being frittered away. And that's why I'm in this race. I am in this race because they are taking what we've worked for, the freedoms and rights that we enjoy, and they're smashing them. They are shattering them. They are taking them away, and they are all the money that they say, where is it? We must do things in decency and order. Yes, our systems need to be improved. Yes, we need to save money. And we can put our heads together and make that happen if you engage. It's just like my mama used to say when me and my sisters and brothers would fight. She would say, go in their room and don't come out till you have a solution. Go in the room, be brave enough to come up with solutions for people of this country.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I am the brave. I always say, and I've never backed away from a fight, I always say, Kentucky first, country always. If you know or you feel anything I've said resonates with you or your family or what you want for your children, your grandchildren, if 1,000 years from now you want people to point to you, your life, and your circle of influence and say, because of you, we increased America's freedoms and rights. We make sure that it exists 1,000 years from now. Then do something.
Yep. What's the website that people can go to find out more about your campaign, support your events, support financially?
PamelaStevenson.com. PamelaStevenson. PamelaStevenson.com. I was going to put beautiful and smart, but that would have been too long a name. It's very hard being both, but I am. And you can just look at my history. I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk, and I have for my entire adult life. Find me if you have suggestions. Text me, email me, but above all, engage. Take back your country and make sure that your great-grands know that you did that.
I love the fact that this room has filled with people in this opportunity center, and there's multiple conversations going on. Your practice was on the House floor, right, where you can have a directed conversation and you can literally make a speech to the body without being distracted by the multiple conversations and voices that are happening around you, which is a remarkable skill.
I have to tell you, as the leader of the House, in the House, and I'm working with a supermajority. There are 20 of us, and 80 of them, and I get along well with them. We get what we need. You know why? Because I tell them, I don't care who's in charge as long as people get what they need. Every Kentuckian. I tell them nobody cares who's in charge as long as people are taken care of. And when they don't do it, I tell them that too.
Colonel Reverend Pam and Dr. Pam Stevenson, Doctor of Law, Doctor of Jurisprudence. So many credentials. So great to see you, Colonel Pam. Appreciate you.
I appreciate being here. And if I could just say, all those credentials are in service of people. And as a litigator, a lawyer, I understand what the Senate does. And I probably can do it better than most because I've done it.
That's right. Practice makes perfect. Thank you. Colonel Pam Stevenson for U.S. Senate. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate the time. Share it live and look forward to hearing from you again, Colonel Pam.